Meanwhile, quarter before the top of the hour on this Friday, Geraldo Rivera joins us live.
I'm so proud to be on the most honest morning show.
Honorable. We're honorable people, too.
I feel exactly so proud. So proud.
Listen, what he's talking about is something that the president said yesterday during a 70-plus minute, that is to say, teleconference. If you missed some of it, you missed a lot. Here he is blasting the out-of-control mainstream media.
The press, honestly, is out of control. The level of dishonesty is out of control. I would be your biggest fan in the world if you treated me right. Now, I sort of understand there's a certain bias, but you've got to be at least a little bit fair. The public sees it. They see it. They see it's not fair. I don't mind bad stories. I can handle a bad story better than anybody, as long as it's true. You take a look at some of your shows, and you see the bias and the hatred. It's so much anger and hatred.
And he's talking about the people in the mainstream media, the press corps right there. He's going over their head directly to the people, and they hate it.
Well, he is definitely his most effective spokesperson. As wild and as undisciplined as that performance was, it was riveting. You could not turn away. I can't wait to see the ratings. But that's something that he needed to do. I mean, with the hemorrhaging and the Russia business and everything else going on, Flynn's resignation, he needed to speak directly to the people to remind folks why they voted for him back in November. Though? You know, Ainsley, I don't think that right now in our polarized country much is going to change. I think this is going to be a country divided. I think the more reasonable he sounds, and the more often he does what he did yesterday, I think the better it is. Because on the margins, you'll eat away. Finally, you'll get, you know, Rasmussen has them over 50%. So I don't think you're going to get much better than that.
I have a different theory. It's all about results. If the tax cuts come through, if the economy starts roaring, if he starts getting an effective strategy to wrestle North Korea, Iran, Russia, one of them, then people start to have to look at results. But we do have something else to share with you. You know, you need another national security advisor, and he was kind of got news yesterday that Hardwood would not be taking the job, Richard Hardwood, but it looks like General Kellogg, according to his tweet, is a finalist. And according to Fox News, Stephen Hadley, Stanley McChrystal, and David Petraeus are all finalists for this job.
Oh, I know Hadley and Petraeus, of course, very well. I knew.
What about Keith Kellogg?
Keith Kellogg, I don't know that well. I was thinking John C. Campbell or even Ray Odierno. Remember Big Ray?
Because the president says that he's very much in contention for the job.
Well, I mean, with David Petraeus, the only problem is the baggage from the, you know, the sharing his secrets with his girlfriend, who was an Army colonel.
Especially after General Flynn.
Particularly after General Flynn. But in terms of competence, I have no doubt but that David Petraeus is one of the most competent warriors we've ever had, ever.
Certainly since McChrystal in the mix, too?
McChrystal, excellent also, but I think McChrystal has kind of that same kind of edgy thing that,
General
Michael
Keane?
Flynn. Keane is terrific. Terrific. He's here. He's sober. He's a wonderful analyst. He knows the score. He's honest. He's a patriot. I hadn't thought of Jack, but he'd be terrific.
A few months ago, remember, he said, I can't do it because I can't get involved in the cabinet because my wife died. But maybe at this point.
You see what happens? They get chopped up in this whole, you know, this is...
I think Hadley would be the perfect mix because he understands the White House through two different administrations. Sometimes you need to know how things are done and let him do the way he wants to do, but Hadley will show you how to do it.
I think that going back to what you said about Trump has to deliver results, and that's where the rubber will hit the road. In my view, and I just did a guest thing on our rivals, not nearly as honorable as
we are.
I don't like the Mexican stuff. I don't like the Muslim stuff, the Megyn Kelly stuff. Those are things that irk me about Donald Trump. But there's no doubt every time I look at my 401k that I've made a lot of money since November 8th, and a lot of other people have. And I think that economy, that rising tide will lift a lot of boats. And I think they'll get, by springtime, people could be in a better mood.
By spring, you're going to be really rich by spring. How generous are you going to be?
Maybe that island you have will have plumbing.
He doesn't need it surrounded by water. Toilet paper.
The president did say the travel ban is going to come up with a new executive order.
I could have written it for him.
Week.
I told you.
You wrote it for him last week.
I wrote it for him last week. I mean, you don't put people with green cards. You don't put people who have visas. You don't put people who have previously been here on the travel ban. But you can ban people from 7 countries for new visas and put them through extreme vetting.
haul him into court.
Yeah, but it's legal. I'm telling you, they may haul, but they're not going to have Trump at the end of the line.
There you go. All right, Geraldo, thank you very much.
I love you, love you. Have a wonderful weekend. I'm going to Arizona. I'll be broadcasting. Well, you won't be here.
Well, what's the matter?
What are you doing?
No, I'll be on the show tomorrow from Arizona.
All right.
What's in Arizona?
Well,
It's
we'll be
my mother-in-law's 70th birthday.
Oh,
It's kind of embarrassing to say that since
you
I'm
doing
73.
the whole party lot? You're doing the whole...
Really? That's awesome.
Right. And how old's your wife?
My wife, 42.
Wow.
What?
I'm just saying.
My shoes are 42.
We have Wikipedia.
Yeah, that's right.
Good for you, Geraldo.
Look it up,